These people were flown here with our tax dollars. It's also not true. There's never been any documented evidence that, wait, where was I going with this? Oh yeah, that Joe Biden or anyone else, they're not emptying any insane asylums into America. There's no evidence of that. People have fact-checked Trump over and over and over, asked repeatedly, hey, where's your actual evidence of that? He never has had any. Since, I mean, this goes back, I think the first time he said it was like 2000, I don't know, 16.
16, yeah.
Never had any evidence of that. But the only person I can prove that has released criminals into the interior of the United States is Donald Trump. Because, I mean, these are essentially white nationalists who South Africa said they were unvetted. We shouldn't let them into our country. Some of them were radicalized and we could face danger here. And to me, it's just like, I've talked about this a lot. Donald Trump is setting up a system of violence in the name of the Trump regime, not a crime, right? The only criminals I know Trump's released into the interior of the United States are the J6ers. And I don't know if anyone knows how many of those J6ers are now reoffending. We got one just doing home invasions, just breaking into people's homes and stealing everything. We got the other guy who's an actual 3PDO who actually had kitty corn on his computer. Remember that guy? All of these people, one of them's no longer with us because the police had to unalive him during a standoff. But I have to hear about it. For some reason, those aren't criminals. Can we have an honest conversation today about the hypocrisy of MAGA? The borders are closed just not to 58 white people that do not meet the qualifications for refugee status whatsoever. Does anyone want to talk about why these people are with us? Why our tax dollars paid to fly them here? No one is interested in that conversation.
To whatever happened to wasteful government spending.
Oh, I've got to pull up. Oh, I'm on the phone. I did it. I'm going to do it on this phone too. I was doing the best statistical analysis because it's...
Tap the screen.
I'm going to hold on.
Hey guys, do me a favor. Tap the screen, fill up the gift goal, hit the shares, guys. This might be a niche topic, but we're going to run this because this is important. We cannot let the degradation of our refugee part of the immigration system get corrupted, guys. So,
well, I'm open to talking about immigration in all forms. I mean, this is just a conversation essentially about immigration. Like usually MAGA, you're up here telling me that the borders are closed and you're excited about it. And I'm just curious about why the borders aren't closed for these people.
Keep tapping, guys. Keep tapping. There's people going over. I mean, I was just in a conservative live last night talking about this. There's a large amount of people that really think that these guys need help and they're getting...
Because they don't think. I mean, they feel. They're like this. None of this has to do with thinking. That all of MAGA's opinions are feelings that they had, like alone in their bed at night. When they're convincing themselves they're the victim of some type of discrimination. I want to hear. Okay, so this is the statistical analysis when I was walking / running 12 miles this morning. Then I was digging into. Okay, the statistical analysis about upward mobility and wealth. And it's a comparison between Afrikaners, Dutch and German. Europeans who stole a bunch of land in South Africa versus upward mobility and wealth consolidation with black indigenous South Africans. This will come as a shock to maybe to MAGA, reveals significant disparities rooted in historical, economic, and social factors. So again, just for the historical context of people that don't understand what has happened in South Africa. So the Afrikaners have benefited from preferential political policies during apartheid, which was and before that, but from 1948 specifically to 1994, including access to better education, employment, and land ownership. Black South Africans were subjected to systemic discrimination, forced removals, and restricted economic opportunities under apartheid. So let's go wealth inequality. Afrikaners still disproportionately represented in are still disproportionately represented in higher income brackets, meaning they make way more money. It's like 12 to 16 times the average Black South African, according to statistics, South African statistical models this is from 2022. White South Africans, including Afrikaners, earned 5 to 6 times more on average than Black South Africans. Black South Africans, over 60% of the population, hold less than 20% of the country's wealth. That's from the World Bank as of 2021, but it's actually higher now. Like the farther in years, like when you look at 2023, 2024 models, it's less than that. Asset ownership. Post-apartheid land reform has been slow. 72% of farmlands remains white owned, while Afrikaners are historically dominant in agriculture. Business ownership. White South Africans, including Afrikaners, control a disproportionate share of JSE, that's the South African stock market, listings. So they have over 80% of the market cap in the stock market. These are the people that are being disproportionately discriminated against. Does anyone want to get up here and explain what the justification for this? These people have it amazing. Then we can get into crime.
Of course.
Studies show that white South Africans are 3 times more likely to retain or improve their economic status compared to Black South Africans. Is this why we need to pay to fly these privileged people to our country? Someone said it's because MAGA supports white supremacy. I think that's closer to the correct answer, because the J6ers are lonely and needed some friends from across the ocean.
The J6ers having companions as well.
Needed some angry, yeah, they needed some playmates, some angry. No, but truly, violence in the name of the Trump regime. This is the same way things worked in 1930s, 40s Germany. Violence in the name of Mustache Man, 100% okay. Right? For any other reason, it's a crime. Literally, these 50 people are playmates for the J6ers.
Hey guys, do me a favor, sometimes when I switch topics too rapidly, TikTok hates that. So I'm making these gift goals really tiny, just keep incrementally filling those up, and then we're going to get all these conservatives that actually think this shit's happening. So guys, do your part. Let's go ahead and have a dialogue, because Trump's trying to cover up the fact that he passed the Bigly Sad bill by trying to make this an issue when it's not. So let's go ahead and tap the screen, fill up a gift goal, hit the share, copy link button, send it your Daily Heart Me. And let's go ahead and debunk white G-side in South Africa, considering some of these guys were out here trying to say the apartheid from 1948 to 1994 never happened either. So,
oh, here's another good one. Let's talk about access to education. Under apartheid, white schools received 6 times more funding per pupil. And I talk about this as a former teacher. When you talk about funding, that's how you know if a school is going to deliver the results or not. Money, dollars per pupil, right? 6 times more per pupil than the average Black school. Current enrollment, 90% of white students or former Model C attend private schools. 90% of white students in South Africa are attending private schools. Tertiary education, 65% of white youth enroll in university versus 25% of Black youth. Is that why we needed all these people to come here? They were just doing too well? Things were looking too good, too much upward mobility. I'm so weird. It's so weird that no one wants to explain how these Afrikaners are suffering. I mean, mathematically, I can't figure out how. I've ran 3 different statistical analysis, and it looks like these are the most privileged people in South Africa. It's super weird. And Trump made the South African president watch videos from a Facebook conspiracy theory account of lies. like, said they were looking at a graveyard that's definitely not a graveyard, and nobody thinks that whatsoever.
Yeah, he's trying to paint the narrative of their refugee status based on persecution. That's definitely not happening. And he's
No, but I mean, he said that they were looking at a graveyard. It's not a graveyard. And then the other thing he showed pictures of them burying bodies. That's in a different country.
Yeah, that was actually in Congo.
Yeah, it was in the Congo. And he's like, these are South African white farmers being buried in South Africa. Wrong. That was a whole different country.
Tap, 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 guys. Jeez, there's got to be.
Here's a statistical projection. Future projected wealth convergence. At current rates, racial wealth equality will take upwards of 80 years from 2023 to be achieved. That's how much wealth disparity there is in these folks' favor.
But they're getting persecuted based on race.
So much persecution, just none that can be determined mathematically.
Yeah.
Through any data points. But what a Facebook account said. Cool.
Good to see you, Halal. What can you expect from Trump? He can't read or write. Imagine getting fact checked in your office twice, once against Zelensky and the other one against the South African.
Sorry, I'm just reading random stats. HSRC from 2022, 5% of black South Africans. Wait, sorry. I'm reading that wrong. Yeah, 6 times. Yeah, whites per capita wealth have 6 times higher than black. That's what I said, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, grew from. The black middle class has grown. I'm looking for good news. I'm trying to look for good. Black middle class has grew from 1994. That's the end of apartheid when wealth inequality was the highest. And black middle class in South Africa was at 350,000, and it's grown to 4 million in 2023. That's some good news.
Yeah.
Oh, and I looked at the land audit reports because I'm just trying to think of all the things Trump was lying about, because not one thing Trump said in the Oval Office was real. Trump said that they were stealing white farmers' land and giving it to that's not true.
Well, a lot of conservative sources also
they encouraged people to give their land back if they had stolen it, but it's not true. I can look up the article that gives the details of that.
Also, there's been a few conservative sources that says that the white farmers are getting unalived at a rate of 60 farmers per day. There's only been 2,237 since 1990, and last year there was only 36 related to farms, with 7 of those being farmers, and actually 6 of them were black and only 1 of them was white. So I don't know where he's getting this information from.
Oh, I read a bunch of articles. I didn't even see that. Yeah, that's factually untrue. Mm-hmm. Like, maybe total number of farmers could be 60, like not like in a year, but it's not. And
not 60 per day.
You have to understand South Africa. They have extremely high crime rate. And like the thing about South Africa is the goal is usually robbery, but they're like home invasions essentially that end in unalivings, right? Mm-hmm. Remember, does anyone remember Oscar Pistorius and how he unalived his hot model girlfriend? That's the track guy who had no legs and was like running in the Olympics. Does anyone remember this? And that's how he got away with it. And now he's out of jail. He was like, oh, it's just your typical home invasion. Home invasions, robberies that end in unalivings are super common in South Africa. That's what you have to understand. They have a high murder rate. But if you're looking at who is murdered or unalived at a higher rate, it's black South Africans.
Yeah, and I was actually looking at the SAP survey, which is a derivative of the United Nations and the ICC. They have SAP's inquiries going all the way back to 2003, where they come to the conclusion that 90% of farm attacks, the main driver is robbery, not race, which would be one of the requirements for refugee status.
Oh, and here's the 2024 numbers. 12 unalivings occurred on farms in 2024. One of those who were unalived was a farmer. right? The rest are farm workers. That's what I'm trying to say. It's people trying to rob people, and then whoever comes out to like confront them usually will be unalived. So there were 12 in 2024. 12 unalivings occurred on farms. Only one was an actual farmer. The rest were farm workers, people staying on farms, and a security guard. And the data doesn't reflect the victim's race either. That's the other thing. So it's absolutely. Overall, in South Africa last year, 6,953 people were unalived. Government data also shows that white farmers own the vast majority of South Africa's farmland, 80% of it. That's from the 2017 census, which is older than the one I was reading before that's quoting like 72%, which recorded over 40,000 white farmers. I was gonna say, and that data is based on if you have revenue of 55,000 a year or more. So that excludes a lot of black farmers who have smaller farms that aren't producing that type of revenue.
Mm-hmm. I feel like
The white minority is 7% of the population. They still own the vast majority of land in South Africa. The World Bank has called the most unequal country in the world. So tell me again why these folks, thank you so much. I've never seen those balloons. What a pretty gift. Tell me again why these people need refugee status. It sounds like everyone in South Africa needs help, but these people.
And like, if we're gonna go back to the dynamic of the orange man, I mean, he cares about certain classes of refugees, right? The Ukrainians he didn't care about, even though Ukraine is an ally of us. He didn't care about them. He was like, I don't want them to be refugees, even though they fit the requirements. So, good old Elon Musk acting up again. Stolen land, yeah. Guys, do go ahead and tap that screen, guys. Get the 50K taps. This might be a complex topic, but I'm sure people out there disagree.
I told you, that's why I'm saying maybe we should just make it more general. I don't know why, like, not a lot of people, like, think about MAGA. They don't know anything about America, let alone another country.
Yeah, I'd be like, damn.
No offense to them, but they don't.
No, that's just the West in general, just because the education system only teaches the whitewashed version of history. They're like, brown people bad, Africa bad. They all needed democracy.
That is hilarious. Jennifer, thank you for the $5. She said, is Chris our new stepdad? It's a joke from when I used to work with Jay, and then we stopped working together, and everyone's like, who's going to be our dad now? It's a log. That's funny. Jennifer, you made me laugh. That's hilarious. Yes, I will find you guys a dad soon. Don't worry.
About to say, guys, in this economy, ugh.
Yeah, I don't know if who's gonna adopt all of you? You know what I'm saying? I come with a lot of baggage. I've got to convince someone to adopt everyone.
The big beautiful bill is gonna make me have less money, guys. So how can I be? How can I be your guys' dad?
You're one of the few people that. Well, no, wait. You're getting a tax cut, probably. I don't. Are you? Probably. You are one of the. Yeah, you are. You asshole. Actually, F this guy. He can afford to adopt all of you.
Yeah, I can, but you said Swervin said I'll adopt all you guys. Biden is a rocket scientist compared to Trump. Yeah.
It's truly. And the thing is like Biden's smart enough to just be like, hey, that's what really good leaders do. It's like, I don't need to know anything. I just need to get a bunch of people in the right positions who know things. Like, it's not that hard. You don't have to be, good leaders don't have to know everything. They just need to get a bunch of people who do.
We are all Stephen Hawkins compared to Trump and his supporters. Crazy.
That's so true.
Tap the screen, guys.
Yeah, let's you get to, so why does no one want to talk to us? I'm such a nice person. I'm in such a good mood today. I just walked / ran 12 miles. Like, I'm like extremely docile.
No, thank you on the 12. I'm okay.
I know, it was, I got more tan, I think. I just keep turning darker and darker. I have 4 colors of foundation for like pretty much every 3 months I change a different shade. That's what it's like to be a hybrid.
Yep. The crown's heavy, but we got to wear it sometimes.
Police has what herself into submission? What
The hell does that mean?
Exhausted?
Exceeded?
Exceeded,
hell?
exhausted. I do. No, literally. That's what I do though. People are always like, why are you running and walking so much? No, I realize it helps me be a better person. It's best if
walk
I
to
come
the
on the
fridge.
internet and exhausted. No, you don't. You run all the time. It's best
Not
if I
today.
come online exhausted. I can be nicer. I'm a better person.
I remember when we went live, it was right after I ran in the middle of the hot sun thinking I was going to be David Goggins. Almost past that.
That's different. Yeah, you were like sick.
Yeah, it was bad. I'm never going to do that again.
Hey, Cootery, love you. Thank you for following me. That's so great. I'm excited to have you.
When'd you hit 200K?
I didn't. I have the biggest, I'm still like
says on your
300 follow- No, it doesn't. Why do people keep saying that to me?
On my screen, it says 200K.
On my profile? Well, on mine,
Yeah.
it says 199.6, which it said 7 yesterday. What? Wait, you're saying on your TikTok profile? On my I have no idea what you're.
Yeah, I'm
People
gonna
say, and people say that to me. Can you screenshot it and send it to me? People say that to
Yeah.
me, and I'm like, that's not what it says on mine.
Oh,
And in
this-
in TikTok Studio, it shows you to the number.
Oh, okay.
And
Hold on. My
I don't
Android, this Android says 200K, but my iPhone says 199 point.
And they're probably they're probably rounding up. I need
Okay.
probably 200 or 320 followers, because you can in TikTok Studio you couldn't see the exact numbers, but it's like I'm probably, if I get to 200,000 followers, I'm not going to celebrate, because what happens is you just
People
then,
unfollow you, go back there.
yes, then you just lose followers. So I won't say, I won't feel like I have 200,000 followers until I have way more than 200,000, because I'll just be like, yay, and then an hour later I won't. But do follow me. Thank you. Subway Kids, see how many followers I have. Yeah, on Apple it shows you the exact number, and like I said, in TikTok Studio you can see it's not even just like a point; it's the exact number.
Where's all the white G-side deniers? I mean, sorry,
Well,
acceptors.
I think the thing is because when I talk about this, I've had people in the comments will be like, no, they're suffering. But when it actually would come to, you know what I mean? When it actually, I think, would come to someone having to come up here and be like, hey, mathematically, can you explain to me how these people qualify as refugees? Of course they can't.
How are they suffering with
Well,
with
that's
90%?
the other reason I was like, maybe we should do this tomorrow too, because it is Sunday on a 3-day weekend. Also, in all fairness,
But also, people won't be on TikTok too much tomorrow because a lot of people celebrate Memorial Day.
well, it depends on what you do to celebrate.
Yeah, that's
for me,
fair.
on a 3-day weekend, I'm like, the Sunday scaries, but you get them on Monday, where all you can think is I have to work the next day, and you're trying to distract yourself. Does everyone who has the Sunday scaries? That's what we used to, when I worked in the tech industry, we would all be like, oh God, it's the Sunday scaries. You have a
we
real
can-
job. God, it's the worst. The anxiety.
We can actually run this topic tomorrow too, because my boss just texted me and said the following things.
Chris, if no one wants to talk about this, we can't talk about it. Is what you need to do. Talking
okay,
about this depends on if somebody wants to talk about it.
Yeah, no, I'm just gonna
I
read
mean,
you.
it's a hard topic to debate, because I don't think
Yeah.
mathematically it's just.
You want to do Trump's terrible? Prove me wrong.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't care what we talk to people about. We can't, I said that to you before. To me, this is just an extension of an immigration topic.
I was gonna shot. Okay. So here's what I got on the menu. Right.
Why is it okay if we let white people in? Because have you ever noticed that people are like, oh, it's not about color. Oh, I'm not just talking about brown people, but it seems like it's about color, like that.
I have one that's called Trump's terrible. Prove me wrong. I have one that's called Trump sucks at foreign policy, and it's got the Panama Canal in the back, and it has extra.
Well.
You want to do that one?
Whatever you want to do, I'm into. I just want to talk to people. So I think if people don't feel like they have to know so much about one thing that they don't know about, it might be easier.
All right, let's do Trump sucks at foreign policy, because there's a lot that goes into that. Cool?
So yeah, I'm fine with that. Are we going to restart you, Ed?
Yeah.
Trump does suck at foreign policy.